What's up, cinephiles? It's your friend, Mr. Cinema Junkie, here with my selection for the Alphabet of Awesome movies. Moving on to letter P. No wee wee jokes. I've been waiting for this one because sometimes I'll pick a movie that, although I think it's really great, um, I can't really say a whole lot about it for whatever reason. Maybe I didn't catch all the details to it. Maybe whatever the reason. And sometimes I come up with stuff that I can just talk about very freely. But this is one that I've been waiting for. Even though I've discussed it in the past, this is not just an awesome movie, in my opinion, but it is one of my all-time favorite movies. I don't care how dated it looks. I don't care how aged it looks. I don't care how silly the premise for this movie gets. It is one of my all-time favorites. Why, may you ask? Well, this is why. Because, yes, I was a kid when I saw this movie. I was 9 years old. But I had seen a lot of horror movies up to that point, and I had seen a lot of horror movies soon after that point. But this was the only one that I can remember, and the first and only one, that scared me to the point of losing sleep, kept me up at night. I wouldn't fall asleep. I was visiting my dad when I saw this movie. So I'd be sleeping in my room, and waiting for the sun to come up. That was the only time I could close my eyes long enough to fall asleep. Other than that, I was up all night with the light on. I'm not kidding. Go ahead and laugh. I don't care. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Said it before, said it again. I am a fan. It's fantastic. It's Phantasm. Now, I know you all saw me when I opened this when I got it from Amazon and had the freak out attack because it was the wrong edition. But it's still Phantasm, and it's still an awesome movie. Little backstory on the movie. Directed by Don Coscarelli, shot and released in 1978. It's a story of Mike and Jody. They're brothers. They live on their own. They've lost their parents. Jody, the older brother, looks after his brother Mike, who's 13. And Jody suffers the loss of a friend named Tommy. We see Tommy meet his demise right in the beginning of the movie. They have a funeral for him. Jody's little brother Mike always follows him everywhere. He's like a shadow, and he's spying on the funeral, and he sees the funeral director, known in the movie as the Tall Man, who was played by Angus Scrimm. He sees him pick up the coffin under his arm and just hoist it in the back of the hearse and drive off. They don't bury him. He takes the body. This raises a lot of questions, a lot of suspicion. Of course, his brother doesn't believe him. So he starts investigating that place on his own. Michael does. He has a lot of images and bad dreams concerning this tall man. And one night, after he can't convince his brother of what's going on, he goes to Morningside Cemetery, goes to the funeral home, and looks around in there, and he meets up with the tall man, a very creepy groundskeeper, and he comes face to face with the flying sphere, which is pictured right here. This ball with the little forks in it and the big drill. One of the creepiest weapons I've ever seen in a horror movie. The whole movie's very surreal, very strange. And not since Bela Lugosi played Dracula did anyone pull off wearing a formal suit so well as Angus Scrimm did. This movie has some slight elements of, I guess, sci-fi, because there's a lot of maybe I shouldn't say sci-fi. But some people believe it does. They feel that it has like that whole dreamscape thing. But for me, it was just sheer horror. It was, and some of it, looking back on it, I have seen this movie 200 plus times. I'm not exaggerating, people. I've seen it 200 plus times, and on probably every format other than 8 and 16 millimeter film. I have seen it in the movies, of course, and then I've seen it on VHS, I've seen it on beta, I've seen it on video disc, I've seen it on laser disc, I've seen it on DVD, I've seen it on just you name it, I've seen it. And it just has a certain appeal for me. It's like once I start watching it, I gotta keep watching it. I even watched it during the Halloween movie marathon, and that was the cut version of it because they had commercials and stuff. But I don't care. It's Phantasm, dude. The gist of the movie is basically they're trying to defeat this tall man, this character, and they have a lot of very cool, very creepy elements that during the showing of it with the test audiences made people jump, and they knew they were on to a good scene. Two of those scenes is when the tall man tells Jody that the graveside services are about to begin, or funeral services are about to begin. He slaps him on the shoulder, and everybody jumps. The other one is when they're locking up the windows of the house, and big surprise on the other side of the window. I'll never get over that one. That was real creepy stuff. It really was. They got a perfect person to play the tall man. Angus Scrimm is just every bit the creepy person that the tall man should be. But from what I've seen and heard, he's the nicest guy ever to walk the earth. So, fans of the movie, I've seen all 4 parts, of course, and fans of the movie would really love to see a part 5 to bring closure to the whole thing. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. They've had talks with Michael Baldwin and Reggie Bannister and Angus Scrimm, and they all say that there's no talks of a part 5 being made, which is kind of sad. And I know Angus Scrimm is up there in years, so it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I would really love to see it happen. Keep hoping I'll win that Mega Millions lottery, and I would invest money in seeing it made. They said they would need $5 million to shoot it, and I'll give them the $5 million. Sure, right out of my pocket. Boom, there it is. So yeah, this is definitely my selection for P in the Alphabet of Awesome Movies. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why you wouldn't have seen it, but if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It was, again, made in the late 70s, so not only are you going to get the bell bottoms and the big butterfly collar, but you're also going to get some disco music thrown in the soundtrack. Be prepared, okay? It's from the 70s. There was also a rumor that there was going to be a remake. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, maybe making it modern, bringing it up to par with the same elements that the original had, might be a welcome thing. I don't know. But I don't know if I'd rather see a remake or see a part 5. But either way, that's my selection for the Alphabet of Awesome Movies for the letter P, Phantasm. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Thanks.